spin a
around
story, yeah.
We talked about that before. It's like a fact is a jump off point for a story.
Yeah.
And I think collecting facts, a lot of people, like, we can just list the numbers off. We could say 60% or 80% of people hate their work. That's a fact.
Yeah, probably more now.
Right? And that's a number, but we could just list that, but we could also tell a story around that. We can find and collect stories around that, testimonials around that.
Yep.
People who are like, no, I feel that way, and then convey a better picture. And so if it's like 80%, that's cool, but it's impersonal. Right. But if I say,
back to the found super secret, actually.
Super secret.
As I'm slowing down.
So the last thing we talked about was Ogilvy in today's era. And
in the movie in general.
Yeah. And the thing that made me think about this, or the thing that I was thinking about as you were talking about Ogilvy in today's day and age, and how he would take on different companies and use cases, is he's a guy that's all about information and data and numbers.
That's true.
And so the more tools that he has, the better I think he gets. I think he's a guy that just has staying power because he's all about the fundamentals. And the fundamentals being like, know what you're doing, test. I saw that this talk that he was having where he was talking about some of his views on advertising. He was like, the most important word in the lexicon of advertising is test. He was like, test everything. Test your product and test the audience's reaction to your product and continue to refine that. And so I think that's one of the keys today.
100%.
And so I'm like, I think he thrives. But the next thing that was also pretty interesting is that OpenAI. It's like, how would he position OpenAI today?
That's a very interesting use case because I don't believe, like you were saying, I don't think they have a core brand identity right now.
Right.
And they don't have like, I don't know if that's true for every major company that's out there, like the Metas or Bezos, I mean, with Amazon. Apple kind of has that. I think Apple certainly has some type of centralized brand image, and you can see that with like the glass that they put out, the new Air, you know, that the iPhone Air that's coming out. They're going for like sleek, you know, really nice designs, and it's changed from like a person to like an idea, and that's what I'm curious about, how he would position the idea of OpenAI to the world.
So I'm thinking about, you said Apple.
Apple, yes.
Apple, I think the only campaign that really, really sticks out to me is the Think Different.
That was a while ago.
Super long, way long ago. But it had that whole, like, it's just so clear to me when I think about that.
Okay.
I don't know if there's a version of that for OpenAI right now. I think there was branding in the name OpenAI, but I think that's kind of lost its meaning. Like, people don't think, oh, this is an open company when they think about OpenAI. They think about, you know, a few different things. And I think that kind of goes down to Ogilvy, who's like, what's the main thing? What's the big idea?
Right.
Because you can only communicate one thing. And I think when it came down to be simple. So when it came down to it, when it came down to the Think Different campaign, and I look at the Steve Jobs presentation of that internally when he first said, hey, this is what we're going out with.
Yeah.
He talked about how there's so much noise in the world and only one idea is really going to resonate. And so I think that, I don't know, I think that Ogilvy would probably have some type of angle in that vein where it's, how do you get down to one idea that you're trying to communicate, one benefit that you're trying to communicate to the masses, and then communicate that effectively?
Yeah. It's curious because like that's probably like the overarching strategy, and it's probably something they could take from today, right, if they watch this video.
Yeah.
But also, what's the next step? Like, what is the one line? What is the thing that's going to resonate with everyone? What is the magic?
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny because he was heralded, and still is kind of heralded as like one of the best big thinkers of his time. And he famously was like, I've only had like 10 good ideas, 10, maybe 15 good ideas. Like, it's not a lot, but it's a
No.
lot more than other people have had.
Way more.
And
Yeah.
so that's another interesting one. Is maybe that would have been a.
What are we doing?
I don't know.
What are we doing? Founders Drive. We have somebody.
I don't know what that was.
Yeah, it was this kid on a dirt bike.
Stuff always happens in the middle of the street.
Seriously, stopping in front of the car that was approaching from 100 yards away. Just parked right there.
Good thing I stopped.
Yeah.
Otherwise, different podcast.
Yeah. It's like, hey.
I would love to have a camera on the front too, so we could just like clown these people. But
like, what is happening right there?
yeah. So going back to the whole like, I was talking about Ogilvy trying to find a way to pick an idea that would resonate with a bunch of people, given the product OpenAI has. It's a big challenge, and the funny part is like they would be willing to spend hundreds of billions of dollars trying to find that answer.
And Ogilvy liked money.
It's true.
Yeah, he was like,
that's results.
Yeah, he was like, I work really hard at this because I like my cash.
That's results. Yeah.
One thing that was a pretty interesting story about Ogilvy was that so this is kind of a pivot, but it is something that I think is interesting.
Sure.
One time he was competing he was flying somewhere, competing for this client, and he ended up being next to another person that he was pitching against on the plane. And so he talked to him, he convinced the guy, he said, hey, let's show me yours, I'll show you mine.
I think I know where this is going.
Right? And the guy showed him his advertisements, and I didn't expect this, but he said, oh, yours is better.
See ya.
Yeah. And then he turned around and just flew back, and he was like, no, that's yours, go ahead. And so he's just like also about delivering the best work. And so another thing is like, maybe in the world, well, I don't know if OpenAI is doing its best job of conveying.
It's not.
But there is a world where he's like, I can't really do anything for you.
That might be possible, right? Where he would pass on it, but I think he probably wouldn't have passed on it if he didn't see the competitors' work.
Yeah.
And that's where it's like just the luck of the draw.
Yeah.
To be on that same plane in that same seat, to be able to have that perspective, because it probably would have not gone as well if he would have gotten the actual rejection letter.
Yeah. Another thing that he talked about was how he preferred the discipline of knowledge to the anarchy of ignorance.
I feel like more people should align with that.
Yeah.
A lot more people should.
Remember that story you were talking about with the person who was like, no, I'm just not going to Google that.
Yeah. I just don't like to Google things.
Yeah, I don't like to Google things. It's like, that is like the complete opposite of how Ogilvy was and how he approached things. Yeah, exactly. He said one thing that I thought was a really cool quote was how he said, tell the truth, but make the truth fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a huge thing, is telling the truth.
Yeah.
Not trying to play it up, not trying to tell a story, but telling the truth.
Well,
I mean, there could be a story around it to make it fascinating, but don't make up a story.
Don't make up the story.
Yeah.
Take the fact and then create the story around it.
Story, yeah.
We talked about that before. It's like a fact is a jump off point for a story.
Yeah.
And I think collecting facts, a lot of people, like, we can just list the numbers off. We could say 60% or 80% of people hate their work. That's a fact.
Yeah. Probably more now.
Right? And that's a number, but we could just list that, but we could also tell a story around that. We can find and collect stories around that, testimonials around that.
Yep.
People who are like, no, I feel that way, and then convey a better picture. And so if it's like 80%, that's cool, but it's impersonal. Right. But if I say, Jim wakes up every day, he squeezes in 30 minutes of writing because he wants to be a writer, and then he goes to his job, he gets yelled at by customers, he gets yelled at by his boss, and then he comes back and he works a second shift at another job where it's not as bad, but it's just boring, and he feels like he's wasting away. Mm-hmm. And then he gets back, makes some food for his daughter after picking her up from school, and then he spends his last hour writing again because he loves writing.
Yep.
That's a story around a fact. And that's making the truth maybe not fascinating, but a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, 100%. Instead of trying to spin a lie, know, that 110% of people hate their jobs. But I think that's keeping things simple
Yeah.
and telling the truth. Big like aphorisms.
Yeah,
I like that. It's like the word isms.
Yeah, isms.
Yeah.
It's a little ism right there. Another thing where he said was inject an element of story appeal.
Yep. Kind of like what you were just talking about.
Yeah, and it's like building a little fantasy into the product.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there's like a little bit of story appeal, but I'm thinking of that eye patch, that Hathaway.
Ooh, the shirts.
Yeah. And
right, where he didn't need an eye patch.
Yeah. So you want to talk about that a little bit?
I mean, it was just, I don't think they had done any advertising ever. And then they finally decided, hey, we're going to start putting a little bit of our budget towards advertising. We'd like to see what you can do for us. And the eye patch, he was like, yeah, I'm going to put a guy with an eye patch wearing your shirts above a column that helps, sell the shirt. And what ended up happening was people just started getting their eyes attracted to the man with an eye patch.
Yeah, it's like this distinguished guy.
Yeah.
Who's wearing like this nice clothing but had this eye patch on.
And it was like, the intrigue, that story, that mystique that was like, oh, what is this? I need to read about this. Oh, this is like, I kind of want that same appeal. And so the copy below that ended up selling the shirts, but it was all about that intrigue, that story, that appeal.
Yeah.
Kind of that you're talking about.
Yeah. And it's like, that building that curiosity and working that curiosity lever to get people's immediate interest. Some other things that are more practical that he talks about is like the value of a headline, really understanding how important a headline is. Yes. 80% of people make their decisions based off of the headline, whether or not they want to continue reading.
Which is so much more true now. You have all these YouTube titles.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
It's like that 5 times as many people will read that than actually watch the video. And to determine whether or not they want to watch the video. And so if there's an immediate takeaway, it's on social media today, you have a title field. Make sure that that's something that is appealing to the person that you want to appeal to, your target audience. Another thing is giving a benefit in the headline. Yeah. If you watch this, this will happen. Some type of wording that conveys that benefit to the person who's watching it is something that he talked about often back then. The research supported back then, and I'm pretty sure it supports it now too. Oh yeah, it's even more true today, especially now that you have a visual element, right? Yeah. That goes along with that. And we're competing in this arena of all these different other people now that are also, trying to get our attention. One thing that Gary V talks about a lot is he was like, you have to know those little fundamentals. He doesn't explain them as explicitly. And I don't know if it's just because he has a feel for it and he doesn't have the words for it, or he's like, I'm just kind of trying to hold that information for myself. But knowing the importance of a thumbnail and a headline or a title, what we call it now, is just as important. Absolutely. Yeah. It's like, what is the person seeing in that first 3 seconds that they're like, oh, I want to continue watching, I'm getting something from this. This is going to be to my benefit. Yep. And a lot of this stuff is also talked about in like the Claude Hopkins scientific advertising. And a lot of the resources that Ogilvy points to. Oh yeah, and it's also crazy how many platforms today are spun up specifically designed to give you some of that research. Yeah. It's like specifically designed to A/B test those headlines or those titles, or to give you like those graphs of like, this is what's happening with your content. Yeah. I think the last thing that I want to wrap up on this is Ogilvy's perspective on ambition. Oof. He said it's the lack of ambition that cripples most people. Yes. What are your thoughts on that? I love it. I think he was someone who detested anything but excellence. Yeah. To the point where he was ruthless, I think, about it. Yeah. Where it was just like, listen, we're going to do the best we can every time. Or otherwise, like, you don't have to be here. Yeah. He was very clear about that. And he hated committees. Yes. Hated committees. Didn't like he was a steward of excellence. And it showed. I think it's a big reason why some people win. And that, I think a lot of it comes from that ambition of knowing you can get to that top of the mountain. Like, you can actually do it. And I have a drive to do it. Yeah. And so this is the spot for you if that's what you're looking to do. So yeah, I know that one I think is probably one of the most important things around his character and his worldviews.
One more quick little story anecdote that I heard about him is when he was launching his agency, he had trouble getting clients at first, and I think he worked with a couple people, but then he was trying to drum up more clientele. The first 2 years, I think he was very like on edge about like he had a lot of success early, but he was like, I don't know if I can sustain this. I don't really know what's going on here, etc.
The uncertainty.
But he was saying that, or I heard this anecdote where he was saying that he wasn't saying this. The person was saying that he put out this ad that said, "Give me your ads, and I'll compete against the ads any ad that you bring. Your most successful ads. I will compete against them. We'll A/B them, and I guarantee that I'll win." And he put this ad out to that, and a whole bunch of people submitted their ads. A whole bunch of big companies did, and he had his pick of who he wanted to end up working with because there's so many.
The key to that post was that he said he would do it for no charge.
For no charge, yes.
Yes, he was like, I will beat your current best-selling advertisement for absolutely no charge to show you how good I am.
Yeah.
That was what he put out, and that's what the reason I love that story so much.
Yeah.
Especially because of what happened.
The boldness, and so then people ended up coming up and saying, you know what, we just like how bold you were, and we've done a little bit of digging on you. We trust you, and we want to work with you. And
not like we want to take you up on your offer, but like we are so big, we don't want to spend time with this offer. We'll write you a check right now for you to work with us.
Yeah.
And just skip the whole trial period.
Don't work with anybody else, just work with us.
Yeah.
We got the cash money right now, let's go. And so it's just like those unique ways of approaching a situation that I think is a testament to his mind.
Absolutely.
Cool. Any last thoughts?
No, I think we're gonna have to do another one on David Ogilvy, just because the amount of things that he was able to master in his lifetime, and also the impact that we can keep calling back on. I think is gonna be really, really important.
Agreed. Cool.
Cool.
Next time.
See you next time.
Peace.